Welcome to Casual Talk, guys. Today I am joined by Aqwafina, one of my close friends. We've known each other for more than a year now. Can you introduce yourself, Aqwa?
Guys, my name is Caesar. I'm a full-time broadcaster on twitch.tv/Aqwafina, and I'm just happy to have been invited into Classics Casual Talks. I've been watching it on YouTube for a while now. He's gotten a lot of very cool broadcasters on there, and I'm glad you invited me, man.
I'm glad you agreed. It's all about having a good conversation with people saying yes to sit with my dumb face and having a good talk. I really appreciate it, man. So we were talking a bit before going live. We were chatting about your recent decision of trying to focus a bit more on PUBG on your channel, right?
Yeah, you know, I know that it's, as a broadcaster, switching games and sticking with games, and I know that that's kind of it's a big deal, right? Like, it's kind of a big deal.
It is a massive deal.
And I know that there's a lot of games that I do want to play. One of the games, which Shooter Q, I think you've seen him in my channel before. One of the games is Shooter Q would love for me to just grind to the ends of the earth is Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
And I love Rainbow Six Siege, and I would love to I would love to sit down and just focus on that, but it just doesn't grab my attention in the same way that PUBG does. Ultimately, I want to provide better gameplay on PUBG, and it's a game that kind of like when I started Rocket League has kind of grabbed my attention. I'm putting a lot of hours into it now.
Yeah, because we both started our online adventures for Rocket League, right?
Yeah.
Was that the first game you ever streamed?
So the first game I ever streamed was actually like Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Yeah. like back in the day, I started I started Super Variety. Like I was just jumping around games. I had 4 hours to stream, you know, before I went to bed. I streamed at nighttime, so my stream hours were completely different. And I was like, yo, I like this game. An hour later, I like this game. An hour later, I want to try this game. So I was just, I was everywhere. But when I finally settled in on a game, it was definitely Rocket League for sure.
Rocket League is that kind of game. Like, I feel like you either play a few games and it's not for you, or you suck your soul into it for like 1,000 hours.
It's easy to get addicted to Rocket League, dude.
It is crazy easy, and I don't know why this game, like, there's no half mark. Like, I've never known someone who's like, oh, you know, Rocket League's fine for like you know, a few hours or something. No, it's always like, god damn, it's 1,000 hours all the time, and that is just wild to me. I don't know another game that is such like all in like Rocket League is.
Okay, so I have a couple of my buddies who I met through Rocket League, and a lot of them have told me time and time again, man, I'm quitting Rocket League. I'm quitting Rocket League. I look through my Steam list right now. They're playing Rocket League. They're playing Rocket League right now. Like, it's one of those games. To me, I would say that would be like League of Legends back in the day.
Oh yeah, dude, I still play. Do you watch Worlds at all? Because right now it's full Worlds Championship. Like, it's everywhere. Are you watching that recently?
No, I have dropped out completely from the League of Legends scene, short of uninstalling League of Legends, which I don't think I'm ever going to do.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I don't think I ever will, because every now and then I get the itch. Yeah. Like, hey, why don't I just play Morgana today, man? I don't think that's gonna happen, but yeah, I decided, if I'm gonna play anything, I devoted a lot of time to Rocket League. I lost interest. PUBG is my game right now, man.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, yeah, okay, there's something I want to talk about, and I want your opinion on it, because I was talking to my father yesterday. We were talking a lot. My father is huge into sports. Okay, so whatever sport, you know, American football, hockey, golf, baseball, you know, he just loves that. and we were talking about how I was getting sad at Psyonix treating Rocket League like a sport, because I think that's a major problem of treating a video game like it's a sport. And I'm sure if you've been into Rocket League, I'm sure you've seen the argument. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about how they should handle Rocket League? Should they never change anything to be like, well, football doesn't change anything? What do you think?
I think that's tough, right? Because it's I feel like I've said this before, but Rocket League is like sci-fi sport, right? Like,
Yeah,
it is a sci-fi sport. It is a sci-fi
get what you mean.
sport. We got flying cars. We got people flying off the freaking roof, flying into a soccer ball. This is sci-fi soccer, and so naturally you lean towards, I guess, with esports becoming a thing. And so it technically is a sport, and the esports scene in Rocket League is huge. Like, the viewership on Rocket League skyrockets the moment that there's a huge tournament.
It's not even close. Yeah,
it's like it's crazy. Like, I feel like Rocket League averages like 2,000, 3,000 viewers throughout the day, and then the moment a tournament comes in, 50,000 viewers. Like, it's absolutely insane. And then you have the pros who take up I feel like take up the majority of viewership, and they drive that kind of direction. They drive the mentality that this is a sport, because they do shit that we just can't, as an average player, like, we just can't do. So I feel like treating it like a sport is not unrealistic. We watch sports. People watch sports because it's athletes playing at the highest level. People watch Rocket League esports because no one is squishy. People.
Yeah. Okay, let me stop you. I understand, and while you bring some good points, you're wrong, and I hate you. And
okay, no problem.
No. The thing is with that, while you're right, 100%, people still watch, League, Fortnite, games that change a lot. If you watch League today, the World Championship that happens today, versus like the World Championship of Season 2, it looks like almost completely two different games. The map has been updated, champions have been updated. The looks, everything is different. Now we have plants in the rivers and the jungles. Now we have like different kind of dragons. We have the Rift Herald. Like, there's a lot of change that we almost don't notice because it's a bit every season. But you can see the growth of the game, right?
What you're saying is that they're treating Rocket League legitimately like football, in the way that the rules don't change, the game doesn't change
nothing. Exactly.
Okay,
that is my problem. And I understand that they want to go for that, and with how non-standard maps were completely trashed on when they were in the game earlier, I feel like the biggest problem to compare it to a sport is that when you play hockey or soccer or whatever the sport you play, you're gonna play your sport like what, 2 hours per week, like 5 hours per week, 10 if you're like really, really into it.
Yeah,
that's what you can do in a single day of video game.
Absolutely, 100%.
You're gonna play this game 5 to 10 times more a usual sport. Wouldn't you agree that you will tend to get tired faster if nothing changed?
Yeah. Okay. So I see more clearly what you mean. It's okay. So treating a video game like an actual sport, I think, is a little rough, because people want to see change. But the thing is with Rocket League is, the moment that we saw any kind of change, everybody lost their damn minds.
True.
Even me.
Me included.
Even me.
I would punch myself in the throat if I could, because I voiced my concerns about non-standard maps when they came out, and
Yeah.
I feel awful now. But only fools don't change don't change their minds.
Right. True.
I think they were poorly implemented with how they were implemented and when they were implemented. Now we're not the same community that we were 2 years ago. And if nothing ever changes, even pros are starting to get bored.
Yeah.
Which is a massive problem if you don't have pros that want to push the limits of your game. I mean, there are still the Justins, the Squishy. But I'm scared. When I'm thinking long term, I'm thinking like 10 years down the road. Right?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, next season. Like, do you think in 10 years it will still be there without anything changing?
Oof, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think personalities drive success in video games. Now in the state that we're in right now, as far as game, there was probably a time back in the day where nobody really cared about like people who's playing what and what's going on. But nowadays, personalities on Twitch, on YouTube, on whatever social media drive video game success.
That is so true. That is so true, and it's a whole different issue that Rocket League has. And I'm glad you bring it up. Do you know who Richard Lewis is? I'm sure I'm butchering his name, poor lad.
And maybe I do, but I'm gonna say no because I don't remember it off the top of my head.
All right, so he mentioned, someone asked him. He's huge into like the esports scenes and stuff. He does a lot of journalism. He talks about esports all the time. And one day he got asked, "What do you think is the problem, if there is, with Rocket League esports?" And he mentioned exactly that. Like, there's no personalities. And this morning, while my friend put his alarm clock at 4 a.m. to watch Cloud9 play in the League of Legends world, I was like, holy shit, that's dedication. But like, why is he so into this team? Well, it's because of Sneaky, who's been there for a while. He loves how he plays, the champions that he plays, and there's like a deep connection between the players of that team and my friend, for example. Right. Meanwhile, in Rocket League, the only thing that can be kind of different is the card that they play. And it's like the only thing. And even then, sometimes people switch cars. Like for Jacob, for example, he switches cars often. And I feel like it's not enough to create that hard relationship between someone who's simply, oh, I like watching RLCS, or I will wake up at 4 a.m. and trash everyone who doesn't talk good about C9. Like, right. And I'm sure there are those fanatics about Rocket League esports. I'm sure there are, but in terms of raw like numbers, even if we do go by percentage, because Rocket League doesn't have the players that League has, obviously. But even if we go by percentage, I think that's the biggest problem, and that's what you just mentioned. It's like, I think personalities drive the games, and we've just now started to have interviews back on our LCS, like this weekend, but the weekend of the 14th of October at the time of this recording. That is insane.
I couldn't agree more. I personally, when I was really into League of Legends, when I was super into it, I was watching certain personalities. I was watching League of Legends, but I was watching personalities on League of Legends. I wasn't, because you can click on just any random League of Legends channel, but what was I watching? Man, I was watching, as far as the pros go, I was watching people like Wild Turtle. I was watching people like, I was like Double Lift, Hot Shot. I was watching those, and I was watching Tyler. I was watching Tyler.
Did you say his name here? Okay.
Because it's entertaining, and I guarantee you, because of these people, other people like got into the game. You see them playing at high levels, and you're like, but they're not just playing at high levels. Double Lift is talking trash. Like, wow,
I love this.
I love this, and I will remember
loved it. All my life. all my life. Everyone is trash, proceeds to stomp them next game, completely like demolish them. How can you not like that storyline
Right.
of like this big evil dude who's like, yeah, fuck you all, I'm gonna crush you. And then he crushes
And then he crushes you.
Like, oh, that was so good. That was so good. And it's unfortunate that some games don't jump on that opportunity to create these massive storylines of like, there's this guy that plays ADC that's just so good, and he's trash talking everyone, and then that creates two camps, which is fine because the two camps still watches the same game. They still watch the same game, even if they're once against each other, like once again. Well, English is hard, kids. One against another, they're still watching the same game. I mean, that was the whole strategy that the damn Paul brothers used. Yeah. It's like one against each other, yet they both watch the same thing. So that drives, interest.
The connection is really important. You can see it. You see it in almost all major sporting events in like just real life sports.
Of course,
you see it in all of that. You see it in the UFC. Khabib Conor was a big one in most recent memory.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, they caused a lot of craziness, but that craziness, that emotion, that raw passion, yeah, like exactly. People say that they don't want that. People are like, oh, we want good sportsmanship. People say that
bullshit,
but yeah, people want to see people go out of their freaking minds crazy because that raw passion drives sales. That raw passion drives interest. That raw passion is the reason why Khabib versus Conor, if it happens again, they're gonna get a rematch, and it's gonna like the sales are gonna be crazy. Like what kind of check Khabib denied afterwards. That fight he won. It would have been a $2 million paycheck for him.
That's a lot of cash.
That's but imagine what a rematch pays him. Imagine what a rematch pays him. It's the same thing. I just don't see anyone. I don't see anyone doing that. You know who does that in the Rocket League community? Regular players, like your average player. But nobody wants to see your average player talking trash to randos on the internet.
True. That's true. The only one that we had in like the pro scene was like Turbo. And I feel like he backed down a lot because he was getting like a shit ton of backlash. Which unfortunately, like when you play the evil guy, that will happen. It's like one of the costs of being the evil guy is that you will get genuine hatred, which sucks. Which really sucks. And I can understand no one going like at bat for that. No one's ready to like get all the problems on them. But I think ultimately it hurts because it's entertainment first, in my opinion. And I know that's kind of a controversial thing because there's people that are like for the integrity of the game. We simply want to see the highest level. But I kind of disagree. I want to be entertained. And if I'm ready to sacrifice 10% gameplay, like quality of gameplay for like 50% more banter and things that will make it entertaining, I will do the trade any day. Any day. Because I think that's what drives passion.
This is gonna be a circle jerk between me and you because I totally 100% agree.
I so great.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't see like the question that you asked at first was, do you see Rocket League in 10 years from now still being played? If it remains the same, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Zero. I'm 100% one of those guys that will definitely, I'll kick myself in the throat because the moment that Neo Tokyo was brought into rotation, I fucking hated every second of it. And I was quick to be like, yo, this is trash. Why is it in ranked? Why is it this? Why is it that? When in reality, towards the end, towards when they were getting it removed out of the rotation, I was like, yeah, I just gotta fix my play. I gotta fix my, I gotta adapt. And ultimately, that map probably brought a bunch of really cool aspects to mechanics. Imagine if that map was left in rotation. If Psyonix would put their foot down, they're like, suck it up.
I wish they had done that. I understand why they didn't, because there's people like you and me were assholes when it came out. And we're like, fuck you. We don't want to learn that bullshit. But the idea was good. I think the execution was the problem. I really, really do. Because it was so easy to just avoid learning that map. Because not only, what were the odds of you getting a non-standard map? It was like sub half. Most games were on a normal map. And then every tournament is on a normal map.
Right.
RLCS is on a standard map. Then why the hell would you learn this map? Like, what's the point? You know?
Right.
But when you look at things like Super Smash Brothers, for example, I know there's not a lot of stages that are legal, but there's still a key difference. And there's a couple stages that people can play on, and it creates a whole new dynamic of like, oh, this team or this guy is super strong on map X. So why, the other team is gonna pick Y map because they're better than that. It creates like this whole thing that becomes interesting of like what team's good at what, and if there's multiple non-standard maps, then teams can really get good at a couple if they are forced to play in it in tournaments. I think nowadays it's too late. It's not gonna happen, which is unfortunate, and we'll kick each other in the throat, and we'll have a good time with it, because ultimately I think this is one of the cases where the company was right. They listened to feedback and it backfired. Yeah,
Psyonix, so to speak, learned their lesson, quote unquote. It's not a good lesson. It wasn't a good lesson. It's not. I think that they. So I think that it needs to change. I think players need to realize. But okay, that being said, let me get to the root of a problem like this. It's the players. The players in Rocket League specifically, I think the player base is pretty young still. The majority of the player base is still pretty young. So they're more apt to react more emotionally than to think to themselves, this is gonna, this is for the betterment for the future. And that's not, I'm not saying that the older audience doesn't do that either, but to some extent, I think that the older audience can also see into, they can think into the future. They kind of see where Psyonix is going, because Psyonix is not run by 12-year-olds in a corner. They're also run by adults, and those adults want to see they want to see Rocket League, grow. I don't think that they're looking forward for a Rocket League Part 2. They're not. There's not going to be a Rocket League sequel.
I think I think that the solution over the long-term health of the game is to go the Counter-Strike route, where the game is like similar, but every couple of years you have you make it on a new engine, or you make it new, same but different, but same
but different. Yeah,
it
CS:GO is literally the same game as Counter-Strike Source. And it's just it's a higher, like, it has higher resolutions, and like
same but
you're
different.
Right, maybe it's the same. I think they'll probably end up going that route at the end of the day. If they either do that, or they will just update the graphics. They'll do a World of Warcraft,
maybe, or like a League,
and they'll like update the graphics slowly to the point where nobody really sees the change. But then
that was good, though. That was a good move, I think, for a while, and it's still, it's still alive after that many years. And League did the same thing. They updated the map, they updated the graphics. If you watch like old League gameplay, that shit is disgustingly ugly, man. The map was not beautiful, not as clean as what we have today.
It's actually, surprise. Like it was very small changes here and there. Like you barely notice them, and then suddenly we have a brand spanking new game. I remember being on the, I came in on the like second season.
Yeah.
I was at the end of the first season, second season of League of Legends. I was there, and I was so impressed with this game. And I'm not even looking at the same game anymore. If Rocket League does the same thing, I think that would be pretty cool. That wouldn't be so bad.
I also think the same. And if you get that new iteration on a new engine where when you release a new tint of pink, it doesn't break your physics. If you can do that, and then at the same time, boom, you introduce non-standard maps, and you're like, yeah, suck it up, kids.
Yeah,
you gotta learn. Like
that's it.
It's a new game, dude. If you don't want that, go to Rocket League 1. Like we
right.
Rocket League 2.0 here, and we have non-standard maps. Just deal with it. I think that would be super interesting on the long run.
That being said, you know, do you see yourself going back to Rocket League at all?
As a content creator or as a player? Because those are two different questions.
Oh, let's go with as a content creator.
Probably not. I would highly doubt it. Maybe as like if I go back to streaming, which we can maybe touch upon a bit later. If I go back to streaming eventually, I wouldn't hate having like, you know, a Saturday stream where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna crank a couple games of Rocket League, have some beers, have like a lot of fun. Kind of like, do you know who Mango is?
Yes.
Okay, so he's you know, huge melee players. Yeah,
C9, right?
Yeah, C9 player for Super Smash Melee. Fucking love Mango. And he's been cranking those Rocket League streams from time to time. And you can tell how much he loves that game. It like genuine love, because he's still in that honeymoon phase. Like when you start a game and you're like, oh my god, this is sick. And he's having a lot of fun. I want to, if I stream Rocket League again, I want that. I want that vibe of like, I'm streaming it because I want to have a blast playing it. I don't want to care about, oh, will I reach Champion 3? Will I try to get GC? Will I try hard? Will I be mad at my teammates because they didn't do X or Y? When ultimately it's almost always my fault. Like, I just fucked up and I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man?
It's
like
toxic, dude.
Yeah.
You're toxic.
Yeah, bro. Dude. I mean, it at the end of the day, when I was streaming Rocket League towards the end, I was just getting angry. Like, either at myself or at teammates. And I've never been toxic in game. Like, I'm not typing to be like, hey, dude, you know, how bad you are. Like, I'm not doing that. But I was voicing it on stream, which isn't really better. Like, it's not great, and it's not a vibe I liked. That's why I decided to stop. Because it was just boiling inside. Like, every small thing was just tilting me, because I wasn't playing at that point because I was loving the game anymore. I was playing because I kind of had to. You know, I kind of had to, because when you're streaming, it's really hard to switch games. It's really difficult, and you know, people expect a thing, and there's always this saying, oh, people that love you will stay. Like, yes and no, not really. And it's not because they don't love you. It's nothing personal. But when you're watching a stream, more often than not, you want to kind of understand what the hell like the streamer's playing.
Right.
Like, there's a minimum, you know, of like what you want. And Rocket League is so unique that it creates this problem of, I'm a card game player. Like, every game that I love has been card games, except League of Legends and Rocket League. There are like those are the two only exceptions, and they are so different than Rocket League. Like,
right.
People that care about Rocket League don't give a fuck about Magic the Gathering. Like, in general, there are some that are like me that like both, but in general, it's so vastly different. And ultimately, I felt like, okay, no, I need to keep playing Rocket League until that point when I'm like, you know what? Like, I was only playing when I was streaming. I wasn't even caring about getting better outside of streaming, because I used to play even off stream to try to get better, doing the trainings and all that shit. And eventually, I didn't care about it. And now I didn't open Rocket League in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like, I'm very all in or all out in my games that I play. It's like, okay, like, I'm gonna play this game for like 40 hours a week, or like, yeah, I'm not opening it. Like, there's
how many hours you put into Rocket League?
2,200, something around that.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, a lot of hours, and I don't regret any of them. Like, I'm not salty about, like, I'm sad about like the decisions that are different, but ultimately I understand that the game is just not catered to me, and that's fine. I wish them success in the decision, like the path they chose. So ultimately, as a content creator, probably not, unless like that random stream one day that might happen, because I'm gonna have fun. I still like the game, even though I don't play it a lot. I still like it. But as a player, maybe I still have a lot of friends that are Rocket League players. So if they ever, you know, hit me up, hey, we need a third, do you want to come in and play? I'll be like, yeah, sure. I'll have, you know, but I'll play for fun. Probably with a couple beer. What about you?
Rocket League is yeah, it's one of those games. I put in a lot of time too, man. Like,
how many?
Like you put in like nearly 1,500 hours into it. So it's, you know, you put in a lot of time. I really have I don't have a problem with the Rocket League community per se. I have a problem with the spread of the Rocket League community. So when you're streaming Rocket League, first of all, I think that if anyone who is starting to stream or wants to start off streaming decides that they want to play Rocket League, I feel like that's a good beginning game to start streaming. The downside being that everyone is going to want to carry you to ranks. You're going to get a lot of that.
I think that's it in every game though. Like, I don't know how it works in like the PUBG world, but like I assume that people that watch League of Legends player, like, oh dude, I'm diamond, like, do you want to do okay, I'll carry you. Like, I'm sure that happens.
I mean, in games with ranks like those, I think so, and I might see a shift of that because they added ranks in PUBG recently.
I've heard that.
Grandmaster.
We need to talk about that, because we need to talk about that. Finish your thoughts, but I want to touch on ranks on PUBG after.
So they added ranks, and I think any game with a ranking system eventually, you're gonna get people. So, but I also think that a lot of the people that want to, you know, quote unquote, carry you anywhere are mostly the, you know, the younger audience that thinks that streamers give a fuck at all about what rank they are and like how much time they put into the game. Yeah, just not us. It's not, I want to say that it's a harsh truth, but it's not even a harsh truth. It's just like, yo, we don't care. Like, it doesn't, like, we're not streaming to get carried. We're not streaming because you're, you know, like, I feel like some of the people that do these things, that say these things, also don't understand that they're not the star of our show, you know. And I feel like on some level I feel like they want to be the center of attention. Like, dude, I carried him to this or her to this, so, you know. Yeah, no,
it's kind of like the stream snipers, but like they want to carry, which is a bit better than wanting to completely demolish you. That's a tad better. True. But ultimately it's the same thing. It's like they want the attention that you worked hard to get. They just like, oh, I want to hijack that. It's kind of, it's a weird thing. It's a really weird thing. But like I get it.
Psychotic.
But I get it. Like, it would be dumb to not get it. It's like, I can put like this little tiny amount of effort into stream sniping and boom, like, people would care about me. Right. Like, I understand the thought process, even if I think it's flawed and not great. I get it. You know, I get why you do that.
So that being said, I feel like Rocket League is fantastic, especially if you're just starting out streaming. I think it's fantastic. The community, aside from when there's huge tournaments, the community is small enough that you can sit there and really practice your game, and people will come in and watch you try to get better at the game, and they want to see that kind of progress, which is great. It's great. The, you know, like, what you do after that, what you do with that attention after that is up to you.
I agree. I want to touch on the ranking system in PUBG. I've never been huge into BRs, as you know. I mean, just in general, I hate shooters. I just really dislike shooters. Which sucks when you're a gamer, because fucking every game is a shooter, and that pisses me off. But that aside, I always felt like the biggest problem for me in BRs was there's no matchmaking, like skilled matchmaking. There's no ranks, and that always pissed me off because I'm kind of a ranked whore. Like every game, I need to play rank. Like Rocket League, boom, straight into rank. I need to get hit champion. League of Legends, the same things. I'm always playing ranked. Hearthstone, I need to hit legend. I'm always about that, and BRs did not provide that. So instantly, I fell off the BR train. What are the ranks? How does that work in PUBG?
So the matchmaking, I don't think the matchmaking matches you up with people your rank still. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think I think if you play random duos or squads, it'll match you up with people on your team that are near your rating, but I'm not sure how it matches up everyone else in your lobby with you. Does that make sense?
It does absolutely make sense, like what you mean. If that's what they decided to go for, it's fucking dumb, and I don't understand why, and it pisses me off. Like, why? It's like that Once Upon a Time Alive game, Realm Royale. That yeah, that was painful. I have no pity. They shot themselves in the foot. They had a great game. They fucked it up. Not my problem. I'm sorry. Yet they had a ranking system, which you couldn't lose ranks. It didn't change anything into the matchmaking. Didn't change shit. That is not a ranking system. You can tell me I'm diamond. Doesn't change shit. I was so utterly bad at the game, and yet I still climbed. And I was like, no, that's not what I want. I don't want to be told, oh, you're diamond, when I know it means nothing. Like everyone can be diamond, then no one is, right?
Right.
So So before I still I keep on trashing this bad idea that PUBG had. What are the ranks? Then how does that work? Is there a leaderboard?
The ranks there's a leaderboard. The ranks. So thankfully, the ranks in PUBG, you can go down. You can go up and down in them if you're just not doing well in the game. Because everyone had a rating already. We all had a rating. Your rating was your MMR, so to speak. It was already there. The difference is that now we have icons. We have ranks that match that rating.
It's overt now instead of like covert, right?
Right. Well, and you could go into you could go watch your rank if you wanted to. Go to the leaderboard. It'll tell you what your kill rating is. It'll tell you what your match rating is. I guess what's it called? Combat rating and something else rating. But but basically now, you go I believe it's bronze, silver, platinum, or bronze, silver, gold, plat, grandmaster, which is, or plat. Is there diamond? I'd have to.
It's still the same usual ranks that we're used to. Nothing
but
special.
It's traditional. Yeah, it's nothing special, and it just depends on how well you do in your games and whether you're getting kills or whether you're getting wins, whether you're getting top 10s. That's really important. But I don't think it matches you up with other players of your skill level. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that it matches you up by region, which is a good thing. They implemented a soft region locking, right? Because now everyone is getting, supposedly everybody is getting better pings.
That didn't exist before. Like you could play against an A.
Well, anybody could jump into any server.
Okay. Oh, I get it.
So I think that introduced a bit of ping abuse, because if I'm in your match and I have a 200 ping and I see you and shoot you and I kill you, even though you put on your screen you put like 50 bullets into me, I dodge those bullets because my ping was worse. So
yeah, that's a bit weird. Yeah, I get it.
So
okay.
So now now you can't choose your region. It chooses the region for you, where if your ping is good, then your ping is good, then that's that. So I think that's how it's still matching players in game, but at least now you have a progression system in your mind. For some people that really matters. Like that sense of progression. Even though we had it there already, that sense of progression really matters, which is why you play League of Legends ranked, right? You want to see that rank.
Yep.
Bronze 5 is hard to get out of classic. So it's.
Dude, why are you exposing me like that, man? I thought we were friends. I'll have you know that, I got out of Bronze 5 like years ago. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now Bronze 4 is what it's all about, okay? Come on, man. Don't throw me under the bus.
But I think it's really important. The only difference is with introductions of ranking systems. I said it the moment that they added a ranking system, it changes the way that people play the game.
Isn't that a good thing though? Like for an esports competitive side, like that means that people will be safer, I assume. But isn't that what the game's about? Like trying to play the best that you can, and now people have a reason for it?
Well, listen, I don't want to shame play styles. Okay,
but
if you're a camper, anyway? Get the hell out of my game. All right, if you're a camper, get out of it. Yeah, I don't understand. No, I'm just kidding. It changes the way people play, because now people want to preserve rank. Mm-hmm. Some people want to preserve the rank, and so instead of seeing people like kind of more guns blazing, you still get those people, right? You still get those people, but I feel like now I'm also seeing a lot more. Do I want to call them sneak tactics? That people want to stay in buildings. People really, really don't want to die or expose themselves to that. And I don't think it's a good way to learn the game, because, let's say you're a brand new player, you come into the game, and you realize, a week in, oh shit, I have a rank. There's a ranking system. You're a week in, now you're starting to sneak around and play. Now you know what's suffering there is your gun mechanic. Like, yeah, you could probably get some pot shots, get some kills, but do you know the recoil pattern on an AK? Do you know the recoil pattern on a QBZ? No, you didn't have to. You're trying not to learn those. You don't have to try and learn those, because now you're camping in a hut, just waiting for.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I get that some players will suffer because of that. But I kind of don't agree. Okay. With that being a bad thing, I think people trying to play smarter overall can only be beneficial for like the top level, the skill ceiling of the game being pushed, or rather trying to reach it. I'm gonna take an example that is a bit different. Let's take Counter-Strike, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Learning Counter-Strike is fucking difficult for people that haven't tried it. If you're not good at shooters in general, which I am not, it's extremely difficult to learn. You're always fucking dead. Okay, you're always fucking dead.
Yeah,
a round is long. Okay, when you get completely crushed in the first 10 seconds, it's awful. But nonetheless, what I had to do to learn those recoil patterns, because I was always dead, just always, got me in your team, it's a 4v5. Like, deal with it. I'm dead. Okay, I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna die. Maybe get a kill here. And, if we get the kill, then we should get the round, because holy shit, we're now 5. But ultimately, I had to learn those recoil patterns outside of a game. I think if you play the game in the ranked mode, that is not how you're gonna learn those things anyways. For example, Rocket League again. You don't learn how to double tap in a game. You're gonna learn that in free play or in training packs, which is the same thing for Counter-Strike, where I had to get my AK, get on a wall, and understand a pattern and practice my muscle memory for the pattern.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the same thing for PUBG?
Oh, so they did introduce a training mode into PUBG. I feel like I've been trying to take advantage of having that, practice a couple rounds, like warm up my aim there instead. So I think that maybe that'll probably mitigate what I'm talking about. It's just different. it's not that I have seen overtly camping plays, right? It's just that the ones that I've noticed are like things that I didn't quite see before, which was just like running into a random building and there's a guy with a shotgun in that building sitting there prone just waiting for somebody, like just it's something that I didn't quite see as often. It's something that I've seen more often now. But that being said, that means that at a higher level I have to just predict that, and
You need to
maybe,
adapt.
like, yeah, I need to you need you adapt or die. That's in any game, adapt or die. And throw nades into houses, people. Throw nades into throw
But
nades into buildings, because otherwise you never know.
I see that as a good thing, though. Like, I understand the feeling of like you're walking, minding your own business, you're getting into that little house, and you're getting shotgun into the face. That's extremely frustrating. But ultimately, that's on you. You're playing a BR game. Like,
Right,
that
right,
is on you. If you don't want that to happen, play another game. Like, that is
right.
my mentality. Of like, if you don't want to get fucked in Fortnite because you drop like a split second after that guy, he got the gun, he one-shotted you. Like, if you don't want to experience that, then don't play that game. It's part of the game, ultimately. Like, I'm always of the mindset, blame the game, not the player. It's like, if you play that game and you're constantly pissed at things people can do, then maybe it's just not the game for you, dude. Like, it's
Yeah.
not the players that are the problems. Like, they are using the tools available to them. Like that.
It's
Ultimately, I think that's the thing.
I think it just derives, like, it's just from the frustration that those things that can happen. But ultimately, I feel like I'm a good sport about those things happening. I'm not easily frustrated by the game in general, by PUBG, which is why I played in the first place. I know I have a lot of buddies of mine who started playing PUBG and they just don't want to play PUBG because they get frustrated by getting killed randomly. But if you've resolved yourself to wanting to play PUBG, you're gonna die a lot. You're just gonna have to. That's the game. That is the game.
It's
Um,
kind of like it reminds me of Hearthstone. It's like, if
yeah,
you want to play that game competitively or casually, you need to learn to accept that RNG will fuck you up, dude. It will happen. Like, at some point, you will have the win so close to you, and then he'll coin flip, and you'll get fucked. And there's nothing you could have done about it. That will happen the sooner you
right.
accept that this is part of the game. You either need, okay, do I accept that and I still play it, or like, nah, dog, it's not for me. I'm gonna play whatever other game there is. I kind of have a hard time people complaining about
Mhm.
things that are overtly that way in a game. Like,
Right.
our Hearthstone doesn't hides itself in the fact that they have RNG. Like,
Yeah.
those rag flip that happened, like, years ago. People knew Ragnaros was in the game. It is your choice to keep playing that game
Right.
that has those cards in. You need to accept it. I understand that some things are frustrating. If you play League of Legends, and whenever they release like a new champion, it's always going to be over the top broken, and it sucks. But
Yep.
it's something you have to accept, unfortunately. Like,
Are you-
complaining about it won't change shit.
So I feel like there's things that are worth complaining about, and
Agreed.
there's things that aren't. Especially in card games, that sense of that luck. There's a bit of luck. There's always a bit of luck involved, even because there is skill involved. Me and you had
Yeah.
the conversation. Like a lot of people think that a lot of these things are straight up luck. No, there's a bit of skill involved. There's a way that you play your hand, blah, like et cetera, et cetera. Uh, it's the same thing in PUBG. You play the hand that you're given. You play with the gun that you find until you find a better one, and that's it. The things that are worth complaining about are things like desync, the lag, the things that matter, optimization. If a game has those things, those are the things that you should think about. Everything else is just part of the game, and you either enjoy it or you don't. Um, but those are my thoughts on ranks in PUBG. I think that they're a good addition. I think it would be cool if they showed your rank in the feed. That way, people will go around hunting these grandmasters who are camping huts. If people would just go around hunting those guys and just messing with their rank.
That would be great for the storyline portion of like that game. It's like there's this guy, he's like crushing everyone. He's so good. Like he's gonna become like the main target. I feel like there's something there that could be like, super interesting. Like if you're watching someone streaming and you know he's called Aqwafina, he's not really good at the game. And you're watching him and you know there's a grandmaster in the game that's like crushing everyone. Then that becomes super interesting. It's like, let's go, you know, Aqua, just fucking smash it up, man.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go,
just try to go get that guy.
Get
like,
that guy, man.
I feel like that would be cool. Like, you know, the bronze player, you know, grows a pair. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna go try to kill that grandmaster guy. Let's see what happens.
That would be interesting.
So I think that would definitely drive just an interesting narrative. It would be an interesting narrative in game. So before this we were talking about whether I would return to Rocket League as well. No, I don't think I'm going to return. Like not to the same extent. Not to the same extent. It's the same reason I probably won't do a game like Overwatch on my stream. They take a lot of attention. They take a lot of focus. Take a lot of first of all, I won't play Overwatch if it's not ranked because it has a ranking system. It has a ranking system. I won't play Overwatch if it's not ranked, and I'm not gonna enjoy playing Overwatch casually. It's just not in me. Same thing with Rocket League. Playing it casually is fun for like 20 minutes. And then I want to play some ranked games. Otherwise, what's the point of me playing this? And maybe it's just me growing up. As I get older, like I want to waste less time. You know what I mean? Like
I kind of
I feel like that's part of it. Is I don't like wasting as much time as I had when I was 16. You know, like yeah, I could play casual games all freaking day. You know, like I could play without taking them seriously. But I don't play games like those anymore. I rarely play a single player game. So
that's something that always impressed me. People who are able to play competitive games casually without caring. How are you able to do so? I can't. I just can't. Like if I'm playing a game like you said, Overwatch, I'm not playing it. Why? Because if I play it, I need to play ranked, and I need to want to get better, and I don't want to invest time into getting better in Overwatch because I'd rather play something else. Like there's always this kind of problem that I have with like games. It's like if I started, okay, like I'm starting a game, I want to get good. Like I started Rocket League, and as soon as I understood that, okay, this is a game that I really like, it's like, okay, how do I get good? And then I invested 95% of my playtime into this one game to get better, which means that when people around me started playing Overwatch, they're like, oh, do you want to play? And I'm like, I'm not ready to invest 1,000 hours in Overwatch to become half decent. Like I'm focusing on that game right now. You know, I'm focusing on Rocket League. It's like one at a time. Like I'm focusing into this game, I'm gonna try to be great. Focusing into that game, I'm gonna try to be great. I can't do two at the same time because I cannot play a game without caring. That's just not in me, and I don't understand how people cannot care about it.
If your mindset is that you're playing games to relax, that's fine. I play games to, you know, I play video games to relax. I play video games to enjoy myself.
Not
the issue
me,
is
man.
The difference is
I like the pain.
Okay. So the thing is, I enjoy video games. I guess it's the way that I enjoy video games. Like I enjoy, I play video games to have fun, but the way that I have fun is by getting better at them. So I don't want to. I played League of Legends for thousands of hours because I wanted to get really good at that game. I played Rocket League thousands of hours because I wanted to get good at that game. I'm not I didn't play League of Legends casually. Like after you get over that there's a casual way to play the game and you've practiced you've practiced your character, you've practiced what you want, you like what you like, you know what you like to choose. I feel like there's a moment for everyone where they're just like, okay, can I test my skill versus people who are similar skill? Maybe I'm good at this. Or there's the two pathways, right? Or I'm just gonna go play some ARAM.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
I'm
I
just
get
gonna
it.
play some
Yeah.
ARAM. But I feel like there's almost no in between. People who decide to focus on playing casually, I think rarely cross over to competitive play. And
I
that's
don't
fine.
know. I really don't know. That's a good question. I genuinely have no idea. Like, I don't know anyone who plays games just casually. I don't. Or like, if they do play casually, they still play ranked. You know,
Right.
it's still the thing that they do. I've never met anyone around me, which doesn't mean they don't exist.
Right.
Obviously, I don't know the fucking whole planet. There may be like that one guy, you know, that in South
He's a
Illinois
freaking yeah,
fucking
he's a
does
freaking
it
god, dude. He's a god, and he plays casual most of the time. But when he
every
plays
time.
ranked, he's a diamond player. He's
Yeah. And how much he'll be in the comment section. What are you talking about, man? I never play rank. Like, okay, okay, but I've just never met them, and I'm super curious about how many people. Actually, that's not true. I met one, I think, that was like in my community who didn't play ranked at all in Rocket League, and like I don't understand. I was always like, what the fuck, dude?
oh, he's a
How,
god. He's
like no, I don't understand why he wouldn't play rank. Because he wanted to get better. Like, but he just couldn't play ranked. I was like, dude, how?
maybe it has something to do with like ranked anxiety. By the way,
Yeah, which is the
Classic
thing.
has a video about that.
Thanks for the shout, man. Appreciate it. I want to touch about your decision of focusing more on PUBG. You decided to calm down a bit of the variety, which doesn't mean you won't play new things. You decided to focus on PUBG. Are you trying to get pro? Like, are you trying to get like really really good?
I think I want to be really really good at that game.
Like,
I want to be
really good, you know, not like,
yeah,
oh,
like
I can beat my brother. Like, no, I can beat
yeah,
like the
no.
whole world.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of these games that it caught my attention, and the feeling of beating other people in firefights feels good to me. Um it feels it just I don't there's a sense of satisfaction in outgunning people, and I when I get that feeling, I I want more of it. And it makes I don't
It's
it
addictive.
makes me want to yeah, it's addictive. It makes me want to continue getting better at reading reactions. My point is, yes, I want to get really good at this game. I want to get really good at the game. I want to and wherever that takes me, fantastic. Like is fantastic. I'm doing a little less variety, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be switching games. In fact, just last Saturday, I played my very first game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, how did that go,
That was great.
dude?
I was everything that I've ever thought a Dungeons and Dragons game would ever be, and it was not as hard as I thought it would be in learning the game. And I'm definitely going to continue doing that in the future. We're gonna finish out this campaign, and it's gonna be a fun time. I feel like it's gonna be a great time. I really didn't understand how invested you could be in like your character. You can be really invested in your D&D character, and I'm and playing out the story, talking with your party members and trying to get like it's just really cool. Like there's a lot of flexibility in D&D, and it allows you to really do whatever you want as the story progresses. Like you can ask the stupidest questions as long as you have a good perception check. You know what I mean? And there's a bit of humor that goes along with it, because if you do like, let's say you want to ask a question and the GM tells you that you got to roll a charisma check, and you roll and you miss your charisma check, suddenly you're an idiot who can't talk, who can't, like it's just great, like that kind of that kind of it drives I want to play more of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm definitely gonna be doing a lot, maybe some cosplay at one point. I'll put on my robe and wizard hat,
Damn, you're going all in, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all in. It was fun, but PUBG right now is my focus for sure, 100%. I love that game right now. For all its flaws, it's getting better. I enjoy it a lot.
That's great to hear. Just D&D is the shit, by the way. Just before closing that parentheses, like, it's the shit, dude. It's so good. If you had never played D&D and you're judging people, shut up. Play it. You'll see. Facts. It's fucking fun. And if it's not fun, it's because you yourself is blocking yourself from having fun. Like, it's literally like, do you want to have fun? Yes, then fucking do it. Like,
just try something. I highly encourage anybody who has not played D&D or thinks that it's very intimidating because there's a lot of different rules. It's not as many rules as you think there are. There's not as many rules. It's a lot of it's very fluid in how the rules work. You're barely going to realize that there are even any rules once you begin. Just try it. Try it.
I feel like we've done a good deed by, telling people that you should try this fucking amazing game. I'm gonna change the subject completely though.
Okay.
You still have a YouTube channel that was called Aqua Reacts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you still produce content for it regularly? As far as I'm aware, you've kind of stopped. Is that true?
I have cut back on it. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I realized that in order to get better, at what I want specifically, I need to put in a lot of hours, man. I need to put in a lot of hours into getting better at the game, into getting better at how I produce content, and to getting better at how I English is hard.
It is. It is so hard.
At getting better at how I represent myself when I speak to people, speaking into the camera, getting better as a broadcaster. And so Aqua Reacts had to kind of take a backseat to that. And until I feel comfortable where I'm at, it kind of took a backseat to streaming. That being said, it's not like I'm not ever going to produce content for that again. I see myself in the future going back to that and really putting in a lot of hours, but producing content for that channel also sometimes made me late to the stream, which I can't have. I just it's not good for me. Looking for content, people think that because so I call it Aqua Reacts, but it was more of a review on music. Whenever I listen to a track, it was a review on certain tracks, which I think is a little bit different than your React channel, which is kind of just like, listening to music in the back. Instead of really speaking on what you, especially as a person who loves music and not just listening to music, but analyzing music and listening to what the artist has to say and looking at how music is mastered and whether the voice is good or whether whether their projection is good or bad or their vocabulary choice. I like to dive into that, especially in hip hop. For those of you I'm a big hip hop head. So,
have you listened to Bobby's most recent album?
No, I have not. I'm sorry.
Let's move on because I'll be mad. Let's just move on. Let's not talk about hip hop. for the rest, the remainder of the podcast. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm not with I'm not in the in crowd right now. I've music has taken a backseat. The only thing that I know as objective fact is that Machine Gun Kelly lost that rap battle.
Oh, I mean, I want to commend him for doing it though. Like, no one has the balls to do it. He did. I don't know if that's brave or stupid. The line is always kind of fucking blurry between, oh, he was so brave, or what a dumbass, he had no chance.
He didn't have a chance. But props to him for even trying. I'm 100% sure that it was P. Diddy's move actually, and not his. He was just trying to get some hype for his album, and P. Diddy was like, I know what to do. You diss Eminem. Nobody does that. And Machine Gun Kelly was like, I'm gonna write a real poppy song about it. Let's talk about it.
Bad. Like the hook is good, man. Like, as much as like lyrically not on the same level. Like, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
But damn, Rap Devil just sounds good, man. When you're playing, it's like it's a good song in my playlist. Like, it just feels good to hear. Well, but when you actually sit down and look at the two songs,
right,
that's not funny, dude. That's murder right there.
I think he made a good track to vibe to. I think Eminem put out an actual diss track, which is the difference there. Machine Gun Kelly passed off this poppy hit single track as a diss track, and it just wasn't a diss track. Like, have you heard a diss track? Have you heard Eminem's diss tracks? Have you heard his track record? Like, have you heard 300 bars and running by the game? Have you listened to an actual diss track? You don't say good things about people on a diss track. You know what I mean? Like, no, you don't. You don't compliment people on a diss track. And Eminem proved again why he's just really good at what he does. Like, he's okay. So one of the things that I'll always say is Eminem has 360-degree knowledge of rap, of the hip hop game. Like, he realizes where he came from. He knows what his influences are. He can obviously he knows how to communicate a message very, very, very well. And damn, in the first few bars of that, when it was just the intro, he kills him when he goes he answers. First of all, he answers Machine Gun Kelly in like the first couple of bars. He answers, like, he rebuttals a lot of what Machine Gun Kelly said. He said Machine Gun Kelly said something like, the last time you saw 8 Mile was on your treadmill. I was on your treadmill. And Eminem in the first few bars says, I was watching 8 Mile on my Nordic track, which is a treadmill. I was watching 8 Mile on my Nordic track. I'm sorry I forgot to call you back. Here's an autograph for your daughter. I wrote it on her starter cap. Like, when he says it, you immediately realize that he's calling him Stan in the first few bars. But the way that he projects that and the way that he says it is just like, it conveys emotion, and it's really good. What I got from Machine Gun Kelly was not very, in my opinion, was not very emotive. It was very,
I think he said it the best. Like, one was for vibing, the other one was for killing. Like, it's two different goals. And ultimately, who wins with that? The listeners.
Yeah, the listeners.
That's like awesome. We get storylines. We get awesome stories of like, oh my god, new surprise album. 3 days later, oh my god, Machine Gun Kelly's like, oh, he's dissing Eminem. And then, like, 2 weeks after, we have Kill Shot. We're like, holy shit, that is so entertaining.
It was really entertaining.
So entertaining. I've been saying it for like the past year. Like, right now, from the 90s to like right now, hip hop has just been on a roll, man. It is so good, and we're in a good spot right now. We had Scorpion from Drake not too long ago. We can't even
not a bad album at all.
Not a bad album. Not a bad album. It's it has some weaknesses, but overall not a bad album. We've had KOD from J. Cole. We can even go as back as like Damn from Kendrick.
Yeah,
which is on another fucking level. We have Bobby, who had Bobby Tarantino too, which has its issues, but I feel overall it still has some really good bangers. We've had Young Sinatra 4 now. We're having like a lot. We have Kamikaze.
Yeah, Kamikaze. I thought Kamikaze was. I thought the way that Kamikaze was dropped was fantastic. And no marketing, no nothing, and just let it. Just let the fans judge it.
It's a bomb, man. It really was a bomb. It's like from one day to another. And the fact that there was no marketing, everyone is like, "Oh shit, have you heard that?" Like, for example, like I knew there was a couple of hopheads in my community, and as soon as we all saw that, holy shit, Eminem has a new album. The first thing you do is share it with people because no one knows. You want to make sure that they know, which creates like this word of mouth and that ball that becomes like super huge and everyone's talking about it, which I don't know if would have had the same thing if he actually made a marketing move before. Yeah. Like it really felt like a huge bomb, and yeah, I want to commend it on that. That was sick.
I give him props on that because he let the fans judge with no prejudgments, no nothing. Because a lot of the time when people see the list and the song track, they're gonna be like, oh, he's collaborating with who? Oh, he's doing this. Oh man, this is gonna be trash. Oh man, this is gonna. But because he didn't do that, we had to judge it day one. And all the fans, what's interesting to me is that all the fans were like, wow, this is really, really good. But all the reviews, like a lot of the reviews were negative from like in magazines. A lot of them were negative, but the fans were like, well, this whole thing is bullshit. Like, but what he stopped was that mob mentality on his album. He stopped that because his fans got to listen to it first and got to make their judgments, and then the magazines came with their judgment, and they were too late because the fans were already like, wow, this is really good. What do you mean this is bad?
Yeah,
this is not bad.
Are you high? Like that shit is great, dude. And he addresses that problem a lot of times in the album. Like, unfortunately, it's like the popular opinion now wins, no matter what are the facts, which is very true. And I didn't even think about this whole review thing, but that is definitely true. You came into Kamikaze with a fresh state. You had no clue what to expect, and having no clue what to expect, then you don't have assumptions, right?
Right.
And I think ultimately that was just fucking fantastic.
It was I think genius move on Eminem's part. I think he's just he's in a point in his career where he's tired of people having a preset position on what he's about to say or the subject matter of his raps. He's tired of magazines saying something and then everybody being like, "Oh yeah, that's true." No, just listen to it first, and then you make your opinion. A lot of people don't even listen to it. They're just like, well, this magazine said it was bad, so okay, this was bad. That being said, we also got Lil Wayne with the newest Carter.
I didn't even
it's Carter
listen
5.
to it. I don't
need
know.
to listen to it. There's a Kendrick collab with him in it. Yeah. Man, Lil Wayne coming in strong.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is gonna. I'm not sure if this is gonna be his final album. Hopefully not. But Lil Wayne coming in strong on this album, and it's something that we've been waiting for a long time. But like you said, hip hop is in a really good spot right now, and fuck anyone who says hip hop is dead. If people think blind. That
you're deaf, one of the two, or both, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a complaint that's every genre has. Like, oh, there's no good music today. Well, no, shut your damn radio off and go look for it. Like, if you dare complain without even trying to find something you like, that's on you, man. We have access to so many good things. Spotify, YouTube, those are things that exist, people.
Right.
Use it. Like, there's so many good things.
I think a lot of people are, old people. I think old people.
I feel like that complaint comes from like 16 years old. or like 20 years old. They're like, oh man, it was so much better when it was like, you know, back in the days, only like Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, you know. It's okay. Like those bands are great. Led Zeppelin was my favorite band for like most of my life. I loved them. Yeah. But ultimately, saying it was so much better back then is it's because you're not even trying today. It's different, and that's okay. Like it's okay to thank God it's different. Otherwise, like who can beat Led Zeppelin as like a rock band that, you know, has the same composition? No one will beat them. Like it's just too good, man. It's on another level. Those humans are gods. Like they're not humans. You won't beat them. So might as well do something different. Right. And now we have these new things, and you have people trying new things, and I think that's just great. Music is just in a good place in general, and I feel like if you shut down, it's your fault.
Set your own. Music is so important in at least in my life. Music has always been really important, and for anyone to say that there's no good music is just lack of trying.
Yeah, exactly.
Lack of trying it, or hard-headed about the music that is coming out. And yes, there was a point in my life when I was, first of all, if you're 16 in 2018 and you're saying that music was better back in the day, what music were you listening to? Like what's back in the day for you? You're 16. Come on, like get a grip. When you were 8, you were listening. What were you listening to, man? Come on, let's be for real.
I used to be like that. I used to, like, I would punch myself when I was young, but I matured, so that's a good thing. But I used to be like that. I used to only listen to like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, which was not in my time. Like I'm too young to, you know, it was before me. But I was like, oh man, no, that was so good. But I never looked myself to find like new good music. It was like I was listening to that like constantly, and I was like, oh damn, you know, that sucks that there's no new music like that. But eventually it got to a point where I discovered a couple of things, and I was like, holy shit, okay, no, whoa, there's a lot of great things from other genres that exist. And I got into jazz, I got into metal, I got into rap. Like there's so many good things that exist if you look for them and you have an open mind.
Right. I think ultimately music has gotten a lot better. Production value has gotten a lot better. I know a lot of people, you know, like a lot of people are like, oh, music, yeah, a lot of, and some people hate like what they call mumble rap nowadays, which is fine. You know, you hate it all you want, but if you don't listen to it, then your opinion has no value. You know, like how can you be opinionated on something that you don't listen to? It doesn't make sense. There's a lot of rappers that are coming out of the mumble rap who their lyrics may not be what you want, right? But their production value is freaking amazing.
We can look at let's look at, for example, like Mask Off from Future. You know, if you listen to like the lyrics, it's not good. Okay, it really isn't. But the beat though, that shit is so good. It is so good, and the fact that exists creates the remixes with Kendrick Lamar, the remixes from Joyner Lucas, and
oh my god,
those two, like Rap God on that beat is just so good. And you don't have that beat if you don't have the original song,
right?
Kind of like Gucci Gang, for example. Song, like actual song, garbage. I fucking hate it. The beat is fire. Amazing beat. And then you have the Real 8K who makes a remix. You have Joyner again who makes a remix. And it's so good. It is so good. And you don't have that if you don't have the beat. So it's kind of, you know, I'm glad that it exists. You know, I'm glad that it brought to us those remakes that are just insane, because they brought that prod value. They brought that beat onto the world. And now the actual people that are great lyrically that might not have come up with such a sick beat can go on top, and then you get those bastard children songs that are fucking like, insane.
Yeah, I that's why I'm really quick in embracing new ideas and embracing new like things as things come out that are new. I think it's really hard-headed to you know, like, so we're talking about music, but this can apply to literally anything. You know, it can apply to as new social medias come out, a lot of people in our generation, before our generation, are the older generation, they're immediately going to be like, oh, why do I need this if I can just use this? Okay, that's fine. You can still use this, but don't you want to at least see what this is about before you shut it down?
Yeah.
A lot of the people that are the people, I feel like the people that are successful in anything are usually the ones that embrace new ideas as they come up, to see if they even, see if they're even worth looking at. If you see no value in this idea, then fine, but at least you tested it out.
But if it
But
had
if
a
you're
doubt,
yeah,
basically, it's like it might be great. It's kind of like video games at the same time. It's like if you hate any new BRs that come out instantly because it's a BR, I feel like that's a bit unfair. Like,
right,
I can understand why people think that. I think in general, it's just people getting pissed that every fucking new game is a BR. That I get. I get
that.
Like, fair enough, you got a point, but that doesn't mean that the game itself is bad because it's a BR. And gotta give the benefit of the doubt to games, music, whatever the fuck you want. D&D.
Yeah.
Like, try it. If you want to trash it, try it first. Right. And then you'll have an educated opinion on what it is.
Right.
And try it in good faith. It's like there's people like they try it and they're like, oh, this is bullshit, but then they didn't really try. Like they went half-ass. They're like, oh, it's as bad as I thought. Yeah, well, fuck you, dude. They didn't even try, man. Like, come on.
I'll never understand people with a polarized viewpoint, like one that is immovable, one that is just not, like, you know what I mean? You look at the game, wow, that sucks. Then you play the game and you're like, this is sucking every second, like, just okay, so I'll compare it to a lot of people will say something sucks and then will look for every reason that it sucks without looking at it objectively. Whether it's, movies is a good example. There's movies that I will never watch ever again. Good movies, objectively, the things that are objective: production value, score, the musical score of the movie, the way that the way that the actors portrayed their roles. Those are the objective things, right? Subjectively, whether the movie is good, whether the actor was good for the role, whether the
script,
whether the script, like those are the things that may have sucked to you. But I can look at the Titanic, which I thought was really long and boring. So boring to me. And also, Jack had room on the goddamn board. I think that's overstated, but has to be.
It's you have to.
But the movie itself was really good. Like it told a story from a point of view, and it did a really good job. Leonardo DiCaprio did a fantastic role. He played a fantastic role, and I'll never watch that movie again because it was boring as fuck to me.
You gave it a try though. Like, that's the thing, is you didn't hear someone say, oh, Titanic fucking sucked, blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, I'm gonna look at it, this obviously iconic movie. I'm gonna try and see, and ultimately, if it's not for you, that's okay. Like,
right.
You can't like everything. It's impossible. Like, there will be something that are not too great, but at least you need to try. For sure.
Yeah, like the subjective things, and relating that back to games, there's things that I obviously don't like about, like, Fortnite. I don't like the RNG in Fortnite, as far as Bloom goes with the weapons. But that's something that is subjective for me. Like, I don't like that. There's people who do like that, right? But objectively, the game is built right, optimized correctly. It plays very smooth. It caters to a lot of people. It's free. It's a good game. Period. Whether I like the game or not, that's besides the point.
I agree. Fortnite is a good game, and I can fucking play it. But, like, it's a good game. Like, it is a good game. It's just not. It's not for me either, for multiple reasons. And like you said, it's subjectivity and objectivity. I think it's the way people criticize things.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest issue. Like, I feel like because we have the internet now, everything is so accessible. Instead of thinking of a good way to put out criticism, it's like, oh, your shit fucking sucks, man, and like instantly, because like they just got wrecked. And since it's instant, there's no barrier of like, okay, you need to think like of what you're gonna say. It's like there's no barrier. And I've had, and I'm sure you had, YouTube comments about stuff that it's like, oh, well, you know, you're wrong at that point because you said that. But I, like 2 minutes later in the vid, like I explain what's going on. Like, did you even watch the damn vid? They're like, oh no, yeah, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like, you don't know. And it happens every time. It happened like the other day. Reynad put out a vid about Artifact and Hearthstone with the economy, and I think it was a good vid. And people on Reddit fucking complained about a thing, and Reynad himself answered. It's like, did you even fucking watch the vid? It's like, if you said that, you didn't watch it. Like, people, like, the words come out before they even have the info, like the correct info, and that just baffles me. Like, in every aspect. Like, it's not only on YouTube, but I feel like this is one of the biggest offenders. And I want to touch on YouTube. So you've said you really, because we basically took two different decisions, very different. I decided to lay off Twitch to focus more on YouTube. You decided to lay off YouTube, focus more on Twitch, which I think is interesting. Because ultimately, at one point, we were both doing both.
Right.
And we took completely different path. I'm curious, what were your reasonings? What, like, I know you wanted to be better at gameplay, like that I get, which you play more when you stream than when you do YouTube, for sure.
Yeah. But
apart from that, I'm sure there's other drivers.
So it just ultimately it's man, time. If only we had more time in our day. I say that to myself every day. If only I had more time in my day. I go to sleep upset that I don't have more time to do things that I want to do. But you know, like, well, if we could survive without sleep, that would be great.
That would be fantastic.
That would be, every day would be very super productive. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and we need sleep. But you know what? I'm gonna go back. To YouTube. Is just not the time right now. It's just not the time, and I need to make the best of my time every moment that I can. And right now, Twitch is where my core audience is, and they deserve 100% of my attention. You know, and I feel like I cannot give 100% if I don't focus on my Twitch channel right now. YouTube is a lot of fun, man. YouTube is really good. It's another way to get my ideas out there, present my thoughts with other people. But while I find it highly entertaining on both ends, on my end, it takes time out of my day. It takes time where I could be focusing on something else. And that's ultimately the reason why I had to take a step back from YouTube in general. I started off on YouTube, man. I started off on YouTube, and I put in a lot of effort in YouTube, but YouTube is a different game, man.
It is. It's totally different. Totally different.
It's a completely different monster. It requires a completely different kind of effort. And maybe one day I'll go back. How about you, man? Like, you went from YouTube to Twitch, back to YouTube. How do you feel?
Weird recently. I feel very weird, but excited also. Like, there's a lot of change. Ultimately, which is weird, is okay. I need to go way back to like talk about this whole thing. Way back, first year of university, I decided to start streaming Hearthstone and doing Hearthstone vid on YouTube. I started as both at the same time. Started doing that. I had a lot of fun. Eventually, I had to stop streaming because I was in school. I had a job, had a girlfriend, didn't have time. Streaming takes a lot of fucking time. And I was like, okay, I don't have the amount of time to stream, but I still have enough time to do one vid per week, for example. So I did that for a while on YouTube, had some fun, eventually stopped that for multiple reasons. I wasn't really ready to be a full-fledged content creator at that time. I was still focusing a lot on school. And that decision to, okay, I don't have a shit ton of time, I'm going to focus on YouTube, because YouTube, what I love about it and what drove my first decision, my recent decision, is I can put a lot of work into YouTube, and I feel like YouTube can help me at the same time. Because once you understand the SEO, you understand how YouTube works, you understand how to do good thumbnails, how to do good descriptions, all that thing, there is this small chance that the algorithm help you. It can also fuck you up.
Absolutely.
It can help you on the most parts. I feel like, to me, in my personal experience, it has been more beneficial than hurtful. And that's just something that I feel like on Twitch, it's just not there. It's like, it's real. Twitch is rough. Like, in terms of like how you need to get discovered, it's really difficult. Twitch doesn't do anything to help you to be discovered. And that's okay. Like, I'm not shitting on Twitch for doing that. It's just a different beast.
It's a completely, I mean, I know that they're working on it. You remember we spoke on it a while back. I know
now,
that there's but it's still a different beast.
It's a different beast. And I feel like YouTube, when I did my first season of Casual Talk, YouTube helped me tremendously. I had like something like 600 subscribers, and I have like an interview with 20,000 views. Like, which on the grand scheme of things, it's not that many views, but it's still insane how much the algorithm helped on that one thing. That is just not doable on Twitch. That just will never happen. Now, the way I'm expressing myself seems like I'm just fishing for views, and that's the only thing that matters, which is really not. It's really about the ratio of like effort results. Right. But I feel like I'm more competent and can have more results with YouTube than Twitch, And I'm having fun in doing both anyways. Like, I love Casual Talk, man. I love sitting down and chatting with people. And ultimately, even if it didn't do super well, I would still do it. I fucking love it. It's really not about the views. It's rather about the, I don't know how to phrase it other than like results or feeling like you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Because like ultimately you don't want to do that and fail. Like, no one likes failing. And even though I'm not money driven, I'm not really views driven. I do that because I want to have fun, but I also want to make something that works.
Right. I completely agree. It's disheartening to put in a lot of effort into anything and then not have any results to show. Like, you don't have anything to show.
Or not enough. Yeah.
So I completely understand that. And anyone who doesn't understand what Classic is talking about right now, I think it either is not a content creator or has not struggled hard enough to where they want something really bad and they just don't have what they want to show for it. It can be disheartening, very disheartening, to struggle really hard with something that you really, really want and just put in a lot of time and effort, years, hours, thousands upon hours, and just not have anything to show for it. Or very little even to show for it. So it's really important that you do something, one, that you're proud of, and two, that is a good product. Something that people actually want. You don't do things for the clout. You could, but you don't. You do it because you're passionate about it. And when you're passionate about something, you're gonna put every amount of effort into making it a good product anyway. I feel like that'll come. And even when you're passionate about a product, not seeing results can sometimes be discouraging. So
yeah, and it's all about, there's this principle of opportunity cost. It's like, like you said, why you're not doing YouTube? Because every hour that you'll spend on YouTube, you won't spend it on being a better broadcaster.
Right.
Well, ultimately, I came with the decision of like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to be a broadcaster full time, try to be the best at it? What really interests me is it really broadcasting for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and focusing only on that? And ultimately, not really. Like, what I really love casual talk. I love talking about different people, with different people. Sorry, about different things. I'm genuinely curious about a lot of things in the video game universe, or just life in general. I fucking love movies, music. I'm just curious. I love learning. I love talking about things, and I did the good old list, man. Good old pros and cons. What's better? Like for me, Twitch, YouTube, why, podcasting. Eventually, it came out to, okay, I think what will make me wake up every day being passionate, being hyped, being excited. It is casual talk first, and then if that is my first primary focus, then I don't have as much time for Twitch, which means that I won't be able to put as much time as I can. And and broadcasters know, if you don't put a lot of time in it, it won't work. It just won't.
Right.
Like, you can't stream an hour a day. I mean, no. Maybe one guy did. I don't believe that it's doable. Like, I don't believe, unless you have really something really, really, really different, or you're already big and whatever, something else. If you're your average guy, an hour a day just won't do it, I think.
If there's somehow a game that will entertain people for 1 hour a day, show me that game, man.
I'm ready to be proven wrong always, but
yeah,
ultimately I didn't believe in that. But I was like, okay, but an hour, like a few hours a day that I can split in my day, which is the biggest pros of YouTube, is how flexible it is in my time versus always be live noon to 10. Always that, because consistency is so important for Twitch. Yet you can be consistent on YouTube in terms of release, but not necessarily on when you record or when you edit. You have a lot more room. And that was something that I valued a lot. Having that room to schedule interviews like today, where, sometimes people show up late, man. And that's okay, because now I don't have such a big restriction of like when I can do it. Right. I am now a bit more free about, okay, like we can move it now, we can move it there, and I can still work on my personal YouTube channel, related to Artifact. I can work on that when I'm not working on Casual Talk and still have consistent uploads. Meanwhile, I felt like streaming was just not doable. It's the chunk of time ultimately.
It's time. You have to make the most of your time at as best as you can. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way that you're going to be the most consistent, and consistency is what everyone should strive for. If you're not striving for consistency, you're doing something wrong. Consistency is the foundation for your success in anything that you do. So I completely get it. I completely understand. I'm a little sad to see you leave the Twitch landscape for a while, but I know it's not forever. You know what I mean? I know that.
Not. Like, if things go well, like my biggest problem is right now I have a part-time job, and having to stream all day, then go to my job, that leaves like no time for anything else. Or like I don't sleep. It's like one of the two. So ultimately that's my biggest problem. Who knows like what the future holds? Eventually maybe Casual Talk will be live, and that will be dope. Yeah, that will be dope. I would love to bring it live. That has a lot of issues in itself. Timing, like sometimes people have like emergencies, and that's okay. Like I get it, but being able to record it before uploading on YouTube gives me that room, like I said, of like, okay, not being live is like a huge different thing. Like whenever something's live, it creates that pressure, and it's super hard to be consistent on those rather than on releasing VODs or podcasts. I feel personally that it's harder to be consistent when it's always live, because people expect you at noon. If you like, who cares what happened before? Like maybe you've like someone fucking broke their legs and you had to help them, ultimately you will show up late, and that will hurt you, even if you have the best reasons to be late. And that's something that is kind of hard, man. Kind of hard.
It's just like any job, you know. Like it doesn't
can't
matter.
show up late.
What matters is that you show up to the job, and whatever happened before then, you can have every reason. Ultimately, that's an excuse. Ultimately, that's just an excuse. And in any in any job, in any job's eyes, any business will find that an excuse and not necessarily a reason. Because
or like that one time it's gonna be okay, but if it happens more than once, it'd be like, okay, maybe you have a good reason. Who cares? You're fired. It's like they won't look. And the thing with Twitch is like, okay, that person's just not there. Like they couldn't stream today. I'm gonna watch someone else. I'm just not gonna do nothing.
Right.
And eventually they favor that person that's always there. Also, it's like this whole thing, and I don't blame them. Like I'm really not blaming viewers. I feel like if you blame the market in general and whatever you do, like that's not the way to go.
No,
that's like there's the market. The market never lies. Adapt. Or that's my philosophy.
It's not the viewer's fault. You have to. If you set expectations for yourself, then you follow those expectations, or
they'll feel let down. It's your fault.
Your viewers are going to expect you to follow the schedule that you set for yourself. So if you don't show up for that schedule, then that's you. It was your fault.
There's a question. If you don't show up to your own schedule, why should I?
Right.
Now,
why should I?
Like, why would I make you more of a priority than you make us? I get that. And it's more often than not, it's not explicitly like that. But that's the result that's gonna happen anyways.
Right.
Like it's not gonna be said like openly like that, but at the end of the day, it's that.
It's not that your viewer doesn't want to watch you. They were there to watch you. You weren't there. You weren't there for them to watch. So I totally 100% get that, man. Twitch is rough.
It is. It's fantastic, but it's also rough. It's this weird thing, and ultimately it led me to here, which I'm not mad at where I am right now. I had this casual talk series the first season. Now we have the second. Now that's is on a completely new YouTube channel. It's now a full-fledged podcast. Like it's something I could not have done a year and a half ago when I started streaming. I didn't have the contacts. I didn't know content creation at all. Didn't have a good webcam, didn't have a good mic, didn't have anything. I worked my way up, made contacts through streaming, made a lot of things that now led me here. And now, cool, we have a new adventure. And now we're going to focus on that. And, I'm not, even though change sucks sometimes and it hurts or like it's sad, it's part of life.
Yeah.
Gotta move on.
I urge anybody who's struggling in content creation or they don't know where to start or to be where we're at the moment, go to Classic's channel, go to his videos, go to his oldest videos.
They are bad.
And
they
look
are
at those.
So bad. Why are you even bringing that up, man?
go look at those, and you'll see a good reason why you start, no matter what you feel, because you'll only get better at what you do. Go to my channel. Go to my channel. Go to the oldest video. God, I hate it. I hate it, but I left it up there because you'll never get better at anything unless you try.
The best thing, which is weird, the best thing that I've seen it compared, it's like people start streaming and they expect results instantly, or YouTube, they expect result instantly, or in a month. Like that's not how it works. It's like an instrument. You start playing guitar you've never played in your life. You're not shredding solos and selling out the garden
right
after a month. Like you're gonna have like to slice your fingers multiple times and bleed until like you start being half decent, and then then you have to get a band and you have to get actually understand your role within a band. That's all after learning the actual instrument, and there's so many things, and nobody expects to pick up an instrument and become instantly good. Well, it's the
Right.
same thing about content creation. It's the same thing. You start, you suck. That's okay. As long as you're trying to improve. And ultimately, like you said, you look at the first vids and like my most recent one, and it's doesn't look like the same person at all.
No.
It's like it's not the same thing, but you don't get to the end result
No.
without sucking first.
Yeah, dude, I recently, every now and then I go back and I do that. I look through my old videos and I see a nervous person looking into a camera, not really understanding why or what they're doing, rushing through dialogue because he doesn't, like he doesn't understand what to say at that particular moment. It looks really bad. I look really nervous, but the reason I haven't deleted any of that is because to me that means and it's on a channel that I don't post to anymore. But to me, it means a lot to see that kind of progress because by the time I decided to stop really posting gaming videos into that channel, had I had found my style in the way that I presented each video game that I put up on the channel, in the way that I presented each series. I found my voice.
Which
And
ultimately is the most important thing, I think, finding your voice.
right.
And it takes a long time, people, to find what do you bring to the table. You know,
Mm.
it reminds me, I had a conversation with someone and we were talking about project. And eventually they asked me that question, what you're good at? What are you good at? What do you do? And I was like, fuck, what do I do? Like, what am I good at? And I was waiting, and I had been streaming for like a year at that point. And it really caught me like kind of off guard. Like what do you do? And I was like, fuck. Yes, I'm streaming, but the question was more than that. The question was, what do you provide? And it really left me hanging, and I was like, damn, I need to take more time, I think, to try and find what can I bring to the table that's going to be more than this bald dude being happy playing that game.
Right.
And ultimately, that is this one conversation that led me to Casual Talk. I was like, okay, what do I have? And that's a question everyone has to ask themselves. What do you have? Well, I'm super curious. I love learning. I really, really enjoy learning new stuff. I like talking a lot. And I know also how to talk to people. Like, I have a major in psychology. I understand how to make people feel comfortable. Chatting, all that shit. Eventually led me to like, well, Casual Talks just seems great. Like the idea popped in. Oh, I could interview people. I want to know more. It's not really done in the Rocket League scene. It wasn't really done.
Right.
Not the way that I did it. And it was the most successful thing I've ever done. Because like someone asked the right question at the right time. It was like 2 a.m. and I was like in an existential crisis at 2 a.m. and I was like, fuck, dude. Okay, that's a good question. And it led me to like where we are today, Casual Talk, a podcast. So we're sitting down, we're talking, and I feel like that's what I can provide.
Yeah.
It's like, what can you, because it's all about providing value, right? Like when you're a content creator and you care about what you do, you want to provide value to the people that watch you, that listen to you. That's, I think, the ultimate goal is I want to bring something that people like,
Right.
and that I'm good at, and eventually landed on that. And I think finding your voice is the hardest thing. It's going to take a while, but you can't find it if you don't start.
Correct.
It's impossible.
Agreed.
It's impossible because you need to know, okay, what do you like? What do you don't like? What are you good at? What are you not good at? And it's impossible to know on paper. You got to try it. Like, people think you're good at streaming.
Yeah.
Maybe not, dude. It's not sitting down and playing a game. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. I think that's probably the most important. That's the most important question. It's one of the things that led me to Ripple Effect podcast with you is me trying to provide more value than just streaming, because streaming is great. I would love to, if tomorrow I got the 10,000 viewer concurrent and all I had to do was play video games, great. But I understand that because I'm not there. I'm not at that. There's a value that I have to provide. I'm a conversationalist. I like to talk. This is why we're even having a conversation. I like to talk. And when we started the Ripple Effect podcast, ours was kind of a spin-off of my original Ripple Effect podcast, which was bringing people onto, kind of like Casual Talk. It was me bringing people onto the Ripple Effect and interviewing them, which turned into a regular podcast, which is now uh on hold. But I'd rather have it on hold than to provide bad content for the people that were looking forward for the Ripple Effect podcast. But I knew the reason why I started is I knew that I wanted to provide more content, raw content, than just me playing video games.
I think that's the ultimate thing that also led me to choose YouTube over Twitch. It's providing things that are more impactful to people, because I'm not a pro, right? Like, I'm not a pro. Right. I'm not the most funny guy ever. Like, there's going to be other choices, or like to find someone who's going to make you laugh all the time. Like, I can crack a joke, but like, I'm not a comedian, and I know. And I think self-awareness is extremely important in content creation.
Yeah, absolutely.
With YouTube, and also like, I fuck up English words all the goddamn time. Like, English is hard, man. Why are we not doing this in French? Come on. With YouTube, it allows me to get my thoughts into a single vid and polish the fact that it's going to be straight to the point, going to provide what I want to share with the world. And there's downsides to YouTube also. I love that immediate feedback of Twitch. I love sharing good moments with people, right? Because Twitch, it's like sitting down playing games with your friends. It's awesome. It really is. But I felt like ultimately what I wanted to do wasn't really that. It's really trying to provide a good piece of content that people will enjoy, will have value from. And ultimately, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's why we are where we are right now, that I chose YouTube over Twitch. And everyone is going to have a different voice. Obviously, there's some people that are just fantastic streamers, and they only do that, or they only did that and it worked, and fantastic for them. Like, this is awesome. But what is important is your voice. Like,
right.
What is your voice?
I agree. I'm I don't want to harp on that, but that's I feel like the moment that you can find that, because you get a lot of people, and I've gotten DMs from people who are like, listen, me and you are going to be like the next, Shroud Choco Taco. I was like, no, I'm going to be the next, me. I'm going to be the next, like, if your idea is that you're going to be the next big streamer, then you've started off with a disadvantage, because the big streamers are there for a reason. And it's not just because they booted up their stream and, like, bada bing bam boom. They're like,
what it's like cover bands. You will watch them, you will listen to them from time to time, but they're never the real thing. You'll always prefer the real thing. Always. Like, if you're gonna watch that, Led Zeppelin cover band, like, okay, they're good. They can rip off the solos. That's cool. Yet, would you rather watch Led Zepp if you could? Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah. And streaming is the same thing. It's like, if you're a pale copy of Ninja, why would someone watch you? Ninja's there.
Yeah.
Why would they willingly choose someone who tries to be someone that's accessible? There's just no reason. If you start, like you said, by trying to be the next X, it's the wrong way to start. It's what can you provide? It's going to be a value that might be different in what happens, because ultimately, if you do the same thing as everyone, the same exact thing, you're going to lose to those people that are already established. They are doing that. Right. So you need to bring something different.
Agreed. Which is why I think at the end of the day, you see a lot of people start off doing whatever it is, YouTube or Twitch or whatever, whatever. Choose your media outlet. A lot of people start off doing these things, and the majority of them fail. The majority of them, and that's just how it is, because they start off for the wrong reasons. They burn out. You cause burnout that way, and it's a sad fact.
Yeah,
but it is a fact. That being said, you're making us look better. So, no, it just I I joke, but it's do your own thing. Do what like I feel like what I try to do in my streams is, I say things and I do things that I think would make my closest friends laugh. And some people are gonna like that, and some people aren't gonna like that. But ultimately, that's like the people that stay are gonna, are the ones that find it entertaining. Ultimately, if I made you laugh, then great.
And you can't please everyone. Like if you're into content
Right.
creation, it's just impossible.
Right.
Like it's impossible. I think that's a great note to end on. We're almost at 2 hours. Like things.
Are we
so
almost at
fast.
2 hours?
Yeah, dude.
Holy
it goes by really, really quickly. I want to thank you for joining us today, Aqua. Really appreciate it.
Hey, it was my pleasure, man. Thank you so much for inviting me out here. Casual Talks, people, if you're not subscribing to this, then you don't know what the hell you're missing.
Where can people find you, man?
People can find me always, every day, 11 a.m. to 6, twitch.tv/Aqwafina with a W. Don't put a U in there. But if Pepsi wants to sponsor me, by all means, just
thank you. I appreciate it.
And you'll find me playing PUBG, okay?
All right. Peace out.